just take you out right away, and you just unplug it. You will be zipped out.
And we are. It's like the hook. The thing is like, nope. Just close it. Yeah.
Yes, I just hit it, and hope you guys are doing some crazy shit when it starts.
I usually am.
Yeah.
I mean,
82 Carbons and Coffee. Here we are.
He's
82.
energetic and full of
Cheers.
fun. You know.
Cheers.
I had to
mate.
because I was so exhausted from work. Cheers. There you go. I like these.
I'm
Look at
drinking
that.
tea.
Look at that. Look
I'm
at
also
tea.
drinking tea. Full
Oh.
disclosure.
Oh.
Dear.
Well, I had a lot of coffee earlier,
Okay.
but I just ate a bunch of Wingstop, and that just slowed me down, and it needs some digestive help.
Fair enough. I'm actually drinking a new coffee I got. It was pretty good. It's called Black Velvet Blend. It's from Atomic Coffee Roasters. It's
Ooh.
very nice. It's dark, just how I like it.
Nice and
Velvety.
spooky
Yeah.
for Halloween.
For
season.
Halloween. Yep. Yes, this is not from Cold Blooded Caffeine, as I wear their shirt right here. Yes.
You know,
Um,
the amount of swag that some people on this show got versus
Hey.
the amount of swag that others
I
got.
bought this
It-
shirt, buddy.
Oh,
I didn't get this shirt. I bought it.
my
If you want
statement
one,
my statement
I
still
will
stands.
contact
I'm
Trey
just
and
saying.
say, hey, Trey, if you're listening, Owen wants a shirt.
Listen. The level that the level that the level the Podfather gets on all these things.
There's
is
got to be
ridiculous.
some perk to this job, keeping you
Yeah, I
guys
mean,
in line.
you know,
What
I'm
the
just
hell?
saying is that
The
someone's
perk
getting
is
the
that you
perks.
get to hang out with me and Owen.
That's true. That is a
shitty
good perk.
You know
I
what
will
mean?
say
Oh,
it's a good perk. What's up, everybody in the chat? You get to hang out with Owen and Lucas as well.
it's not. I mean,
Hi.
Mm.
Yeah, in terms of coffee, did you see what I sent you a couple days ago, Eric?
I did. Yes.
was that a new
We
coffee
sent
or
it so we can throw that up. Phil's. You guys probably don't know about Phil over there on the East Coast, do you?
No.
no?
Phil's is another West Coast
West. You're on the west.
establishment.
Okay.
I'm on the West. If you go
Yeah.
east enough, it's West.
He's got a point.
And you know, it's kind of like you got Pete's and you got Phil's, but much different coffee.
Filtered soul. Okay.
Yeah. So Phil's is like, man, what is even the word? It is an honored establishment in the East Bay. Like people go there as like an event, you know. Like,
Okay.
I'm going to Phil's. Like they do like really fancy stuff, and they serve the coffee with little like sprigs of mint and stuff. But it's not like bougie, right? Like it
Fancy
is kind of a
coffee, okay.
chain. But anyway,
Pinkies out.
Filtered Soul.
That's-
Filtered Soul has been my beans lately, roasted local, tones of hazelnut, maple, and caramel. And it's really good. It's perfect for the season. It's starting to get cold right now for me. Bay Area cold.
What is cold?
Bay Area cold? So 50s.
What is okay? I have heard that people get off the plane in the Bay Area and they're like, "I'm in California. Holy shit, it's freezing!" Like I heard that it's deceptive. So
Yeah, it does feel different. But no, yeah, it's a lovely brew. I recommend Phil.
Okay. I had something for people that want to make good coffee at home. So I had
Is it your
I
travel
had- what
French
is it?
press again?
I had a couple tips. Number one, right? If you want to make good coffee at home, use fresh coffee. If
Yeah.
you
No
get
shit.
it to sort of what Listen,
Don't
dipstick.
use the rusted can we found in the Airbnb. I mean, I don't understand.
When I mean fresh coffee, I mean if you let coffee sit around for a long time, it loses its aromatics, and it makes the taste not so good. It also oxidizes as it ages, and that creates like a stale flavor. So you should really be using that coffee within 3 weeks of roasting, if you can. That's where a cold-blooded caffeine comes in very well, because they roast it and then they ship it, so you're gonna have it fresh. I'm not saying you can't, but if you look, sometimes I run a supermarket. You look at the bag on the bottom; it's going to tell you when it was. Now they're starting to put when it was roasted,
when it was roasted.
and when
right.
it's good still, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes the difference between those two are years. So that's what I'm
Still
saying.
good. Is it
It's
great?
not fresh coffee. Correct. Right. And then you got to figure out what method you're going to use, whether you're going to use an AeroPress, a Chemex, just a regular coffee maker, or you go in cold brew, French press, pour over. So if you're using like a Chemex, a pour over, you're going to get like those clean flavors that Lucas always talks about with like the, I can taste the rosebuds and the hazelnut.
It's a berry.
I can taste the happiness. Okay, yeah.
Me, I'm more like a French press type of guy. I want the full body, just black coffee, that kind of thing. You can do it with a coffee maker. I think you have to have a good recipe, which means that you need good water, filtered water, and
Worder, make it good.
If you use shit water, there's only 2 ingredients in coffee, really. It's the beans and the water. If the water is no good, forget it.
If the beans are no good, forget it. If the water is no good,
it's
forget
kind of
it.
easy, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to give people a recipe.
It's like
if you're
breeding a jungle carpet. You have to have good with good. Otherwise, it's just brown.
I like that.
Smudge tipping?
Yeah.
What are you
What's
doing?
wrong with you?
I believe, I might be wrong, but I believe you also don't want to use the water immediately upon boiling. You want it to be a little colder than that so that it doesn't torch your flavors.
Salt the beans. Yes.
Like what? 196 to 200?
Yes, that's the perfect temperature.
See, look at that. Me and Eric.
At that. You're studying, my friend. Yes.
Yes.
I do
10
have
cups. A 10 cup.
New cold brew thing coming so that I can.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, brew
That's
it
a different
in
art.
Large. It is. I've been reading up on
that
and
like
how much.
18 hours.
Yeah, well, it's how much water to
he is quite ginger today.
Like that.
Look at him.
It is. It gets brighter in the summer, and then it gets dark in the winter. I'm like a breadlie. I will soon start getting into my dark phase.
We have a name for that we learned in one of the things we're going to discuss.
That's right. Owen suffers from facultative gingerism.
I do. I've had my entire life.
Excellent.
I believe get redder over there. It was weird.
Do you know if it's true if the genes that code for redheadness is actually from Neanderthals? Is that true?
I mean, I would say that there's a lot of, being that a lot of Scotland and stuff like that is some variation of Nordic descent and stuff like that as well, and all kind of in that area. Yeah, sure. It makes sense to me.
I've heard that. I didn't fact check it, but if that's true, that's pretty cool.
To say that I'm built like a linebacker is probably right. It's fine.
Lisa said it's not true.
No. I'd run around with a club. I know. It's fine.
Oh,
I can't have geckos.
I have to say, yesterday, I went to sex short-tail pythons with Mr. Minotaur.
How'd that go? Did you wear the Matt and I were talking about that at Hamburg. He's like, Eric comes over every time, and I tell him, I'm like, don't be gentle, man. Like, they like you just grip him up, and Eric's like this, and then just getting him, and I'm like, all right, well, he'll learn eventually. So
speaking of short tails, does anybody want Sumatran salt?
No.
Matt, if you're listening, do you want Sumatran salt?
No, Matt doesn't want Sumatran.
I've been trying so hard.
Dude.
To do what?
Some
sell
of the
them?
shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Huh?
You can't sell them? You can't sell
them?
No,
dude, I put one on down at like $175. Somebody didn't buy it.
Whoa.
Wow. Is it like dark black?
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
Black?
No, they're just normal chrome heads.
Oh, they're chrome heads.
Is it just that nobody wants the chrome heads?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not in that world. That's why I want to
sell
them.
I don't know.
Anyway, so they're tricky, right? Did you have to probe them?
No, you pop them. They are tricky. They're way different than any kind of Morelia or Liasis or what else have I sexed? That or Burmese pythons or ball pythons.
Them.
Well, it's like the hemipenes go up and out like this. And it's like they're like this, and then the female will go straight up. But it's like it's not like when you carpet, you see hemipenes or you don't.
Right.
But with short tails, you're always seeing what you would think would be hemipenes. It's just how they go. It's almost like they go like this, and then another thing comes out. It's very strange.
Ew.
And they
Yeah.
piss all over you and they bite
Yeah.
the shit out of you as you're trying to do it. But some of the, oh my God, man. Some of the, it's amazing. He has
I
shit when it
actually
comes to
got
videos.
I sexed all my false water cobra, and then
Yeah.
I actually sexed all my Chinese king rats, and I actually got to practice on my probing skills with
Oh,
them
yeah?
because I had to bust
You
out like
master prober now?
the little wee probe. Well, colubrids, it's so easy. If the probe disappears and goes away, like goes 500 scales deep,
You lose
it's
the
a male.
probe.
Dude,
Oh,
males, it's like it goes in.
I think
And
you're
then it
doing
just-
it wrong if you lose.
I don't know. It just happens.
If you
And it
push
just
hard
keeps
enough,
going.
everything's a boy.
but females, it stops at like 6 scales, 7 scales. But like males, it just keeps going to like 10, 14 scales. So
Oh, shit. Isn't it
it's
with
one of those-
colubrids though? You
yeah,
kind of
they're-
tell by
they
the
all
length of the
probe
tail.
deep-ish
Sometimes depends.
sometimes.
Is that like, wait a minute, is that certain colubrids, like North American colubrids? Is
Yeah, but
pretty
even
much-
then, dude, like I've had people, I've had a Cali King where I was trying to sell her, and some guy pulled it out, and he's like, "It's a girl." I'm like, "Yeah," and he pulls out the tail, and he's like, "Really?" And then I'm like, pulled out my phone, showed her with the eggs. I'm like, "Yeah, really?" Like, dude, I don't.
Yeah, I think it's more obvious
with
with some than others.
Yeah,
Is it? Yeah.
But-
Okay.
I mean, you're never gonna get more precise than a probe.
there's no such thing as 100% rule. Like, you know, especially in those like
Yeah, there is.
feeling
When it's
feeling the
on
bump,
eggs.
checking the tail.
It's pretty
Yes.
much a girl.
When the eggs show up, you are 100%.
Or the
correct.
genetic thing. I just thought of that
Yes.
after I said that, and I sound like an idiot. There
Or
is
the
more
genetic.
precise, but yeah.
But but the probe, I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but like it like definitely stops for a girl, and then a male it just flies down 14 scales. So
The Womas were my favorite. They're so freaking easy to pop.
You
There's
pop them? Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Like if you need to like practice and learn how to do that, do it with an Aspatites. It's so
you should
easy.
always pop right when they come out of the egg because they're tired, and you just kind of
Yeah.
like touch them, and it's just like whoop.
Yeah, they
That's
were
it.
a piece
Yeah.
of cake compared to the freaking Brettles and Jungles and yada yada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just so used to carpets, but when I do like I look at it as a tradition to go to my house sometime in October and sex the short tails because it gives me like the experience with them,
Mhm.
and then kind of like I can kind of like put them back on his racks and be like, okay,
and then leave.
That was
yeah,
cool.
that was fun. Yeah, I got
It's
my
kinda
short
like
tail
clean
sex
up
of the year.
10-gallon shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how I approach having kids, right? I go and borrow my
You have
sisters for a
me.
little bit and then give them back. And yeah, then we have
Yeah,
Lucas too.
or
you know,
Lucas,
he's like
yeah.
he's like the older son, you know.
He's like that one that we sent to college. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to skip my trouble phase.
You big rebel.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Robert's right at you. Another reason. Woman's
Robert is
rule.
correct.
They have very few reasons, so they
What
should
does
get as
Robert
many as
win for
possible.
winning correct answer?
A Woma from God knows who.
Okay.
So, when I
I
produce
love
Womas, I'll
Womas.
give him one.
I'm so sad I didn't keep more.
Womas?
Yeah.
Womas.
I
How many
let
do you-
too
wait,
many
how many
babies
Womas do
leave.
you have right now?
In my life, I don't know. I need
Not
to get
right. No, how right now in
babies
your well, collection? How many Womas?
collection. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I said. I don't know.
If it's at a number you don't know,
Don't know?
you're
Yeah.
okay.
Here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Dude, his Sri Lankan python
Yes.
insane.
Stop. I don't want to hear about this because I'm tempted.
I think I only have
Dude.
9.
Only have nine.
Nine?
Nine.
Only nine.
Only
I thought you
nine.
had more than that.
Yeah.
I used to. When the eggs hatched, I had
Now
like
he's
30.
bad.
Like,
And now I'm down to single
Don't rub
digits
it
like
in.
an animal. Like I don't.
well, what sucks is when you're poor, so you have to sell the babies.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true.
You can't be poor and have all your animals
I know.
around you. It's
Oh,
I'm gonna see as you guys ramble here for a second. I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of.
Rambo.
I want the Sri Lankans.
Rambo.
I want Matt Sri Lankans, and then he was complaining about having to go pick up his green Sanzinia at Keith's
What?
place, and I'm like, that is the weirdest complaint I've ever heard. Oh no, I
What was he
have to go
complaining?
get my green Sanzinia. I don't
Dude, this
know.
picture doesn't even do the snake justice, man. I'm telling you, it is like
Sri Lankans are gorgeous.
it doesn't even. I can't even tell
Yes,
you how
yes.
crazy insane this snake looks right now.
I
It's
want
like
them but I don't have the space or the patience. Like I can't.
You know where they would fit? In your retic cage.
Yeah, I just need to get rid of that thing. Anybody want a retic?
Yes, Ish. Short tails are very weird to pop. Yes. Like I was saying, they have like hemipenes, they go like up and out, and the females kind of go up.
They have like sink glands that
So
kind
it's
of
like,
pop
whoop,
out.
whoop.
Yeah.
Or whoop. Yeah. And when you go to do it, they kind of piss all over you. Like
Bite you.
they unload like it's kind of like a water balloon almost, like when it's kind of like, yeah. It's fun.
Eric goes over to Matt's dressed like some sort of fisherman with like a yellow like coat and a hat and very large shoes or boots. Yeah.
Yes. It tells me to wear that, but I don't.
You don't. Yeah, I know.
No. Come on, man.
Come now.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
So I have a question before we get into our main topic. So we're only here for about an hour. And we're coming at a weird time. No worries. We might have to change the day or something like that. Or because I feel like we're doing to Lucas what I did to Owen when he was a young lad.
Young Owen was. Yeah.
It's Friday night.
Well, it's
Man. What are you
Saturday
doing to
night.
me?
We're gonna do Saturday night recordings. You need to stop it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Some of us are in our 20s. Okay.
Let's
Like,
do Monday or something.
Monday works for me. Yeah. So we might have to change that. So stay tuned. So maybe going forward, Carbs and Coffee will be on Monday.
TBD.
Yeah. So, but anyway, did you see the post that Casey Cannon put up with the 800-gram male that was a 10-year-old proven breeder? Browse?
Yes, I did.
What's your thoughts on this?
Well, my
as the
thoughts
internet
is
broke?
same.
Yeah. So
Yeah. The male Bredls that I've been breeding with are the same size they were when Nick sent them here, which is 600 to 700 to 800 grams, depending on which one we're talking about.
right. Now, do you think that I don't know this for a fact, but has there been any papers that showed or any research that showed the size of Bredls in the wild?
Oh, in the wild, I believe the males are the larger sex because they engage in male combat. So there's a selective pressure for the bigger boys passing their genes along, right? Because they're winning the wrestling matches and getting the breedings.
And I feel like the female, like
So,
I see it a lot.
they're not. Oh, sorry.
Go
Just to
ahead.
finish the thought.
Yeah.
Like what I am talking about, and what I would assume Casey is also trying to show with his post, is not that that's how big males get. It's that's how
Correct.
big we let them get.
Okay. I
Kind of
also
like
find
the super dwarf thing, right?
yeah. I
Yeah.
find it with my colubrids, my Chinese king rat male is massive compared to the female. But that's because every year she pumps out 2 clutches of eggs and he just kind of keeps doing what he's doing. Same thing with my Madagascar giants. So it's like I have to limit the food of the adult males and put more to the girls just so they can recover better.
Right.
And that happens a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bredli were the same way, that like the male, like the bigger male does win the combat, but also he's not the one producing eggs or going off of food or doing all this other stuff. He can just kind of keep doing what he's doing. So of course he's going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Why can't we, as the reptile? So, okay. I think of a couple things. One, we know that, one of the problems that we have I would say maybe it's improved a bit, is just overfeeding in the hobby, correct? Like,
yeah.
we all agree that people just feed the shit out of their animals and they're fat.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yes.
So why is it crazy to think that, like, if you back off of that because you're breeding, like I think that was the point of his post, right? This is a 10-year-old breeder, proven breeder, male, blah, 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 800 grams. And
Yeah,
I
it's the
think that
mutton thing. It's the
Mhm.
smaller males breed better, live longer mentality.
Right.
Right.
Well, fat males do nothing. Like smaller, thinner. And I'm not saying like thin as a rail. I'm talking like healthy weight males will breed. Fat males will do nothing.
So why would you? Okay, my first question would be, which I guess is maybe where other people are coming from. Why would you change it if they're in captivity? But I guess my thought would be, wouldn't you change that because it's in captivity? Meaning that like they're not going to be exposed to maybe the reptilian prey or the the prey is just going to be different. They're going to be fed, like a steady, like the animals that they're feeding are eating, I don't know. I guess it depends on where you're getting your rodents and all that stuff.
Well,
You
and
know what I'm trying to say, Lucas? Kind of
Yeah,
like
well,
you
the-
did
the
last week
thing
on
is-
Carpets and Coffee when we just totally missed your point.
just so I mean,
I listened back to that and I was like, oh man, I have to apologize.
I refuse to.
Well, I appreciate it. I think it's just a difference of goals, right? Like nature's goal is not for every male Brettles in the middle of Australia to be like an insane breeder forever.
Right.
So the reason to keep them smaller in captivity is to keep their, I guess, snake libido higher, which we see. And then it's an anecdotal claim that they live longer, but that seems to be something that rings pretty true. Obviously, nobody's applied like a rigorous scientific method to that claim, but has anybody ever disagreed with it? I haven't found that. So that's why it's done in captivity. That's not to say that like there's anything wrong with having a larger male. Just don't be surprised if it's not as vigorous of a breeder.
Well, and the other thing is that even if we slim down and feed kind of sparingly or less, you're still
Mhm.
giving that animal like way better odds than it would ever have in the wild as far as successful hunt. Like it no matter what, like some of the ones in the wild could go a very long time without food. And the fact that you're feeding it like once a month is probably better than some of the odds it gets out there.
Yeah.
And the other issue is that maybe it wouldn't be getting a fat, juicy rodent every time. This time it's a rat. This time it's a
Right.
bird.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
This time it's a lizard. Yeah.
Right.
What was maybe I missed it? Were people giving Casey flack? Like
I
were
think
people in there saying
constantly
like
gonna give people flack for shit.
too
for
small?
Yeah.
Yeah. They were saying that
ripping
it
him
was-
to shreds.
Yeah. They just kind of like, too small. You're hurting the snake.
Oh,
that-
okay.
That,
Hurting this-
that type of.
I strongly disagree with that. I think that the contrary would be far more detrimental to the snake.
I would agree, because how
I
many
agree
snakes
too.
do we have that have small, slimmer diets? Who had a necropsy done on their snake where it was like, I feed this thing so
Matt
sparingly,
Somerville.
right? And it still had fatty tumors all throughout it.
Yeah, I think he
So-
fed it 3 mice a year.
right. So again,
In
we
a year.
obviously they have better odds in captivity, and I think
Well, could it be also that they're not getting the, especially if it's in a lapid, which that's what it was some type of brown snake. But like, I mean, I would imagine they're on the hunt constantly. Is it possible that they're just not getting the exercise that they would have it?
I mean,
in the wild?
they don't have to climb all around and do all this stuff. They don't have to run from a lizard that's trying to eat them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but if I just sit in my room and eat, eat what would be the equivalent of a human being, like, as a snake for 3 mice and just sit there, am I going to build up fatty deposits in my system? I don't know if
Probably.
snakes work the same way. I don't, sometimes when we equate it
That's-
to
yeah.
how humans are, it's kind of difficult.
That's the fuck of it. They don't. But
Right.
I mean, for the sake of this conversation, there's parallels to a point. Like Nick loves to come on and talk about like, well, not everybody's Yao Ming, and like, oh, the 400-pound guy doesn't breed and he dies. And so it's like, yeah, I can help get the point across, but the mechanisms aren't the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's not that bad to have. I mean, most of my breeders were probably 1,000 grams to 800 grams of all
And-
carpets.
And they tend to live pretty long, don't they?
yeah, they're all still alive.
Right. So
Guess what carpets aren't alive?
the big fat ones.
The ones that I fed when I first got into snakes and just fed them every week. It's Friday.
I mean,
feeding time.
The way
woo-hoo.
that I have been conditioned to think about these things, whether it be from Dr. Zach or conversations with Nick or, people of the like, is just thinking more of pythons specifically, not colubrids, but as
Mm.
kind of like a candle. And, when you're feeding them, you're burning that candle and you can only burn it so far.
Yeah.
And you know,
Right.
you burn it less often. There's less miles on that. You know, on those tires.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I just wanted to get your take on that. Let's back Casey
But-
up a little bit, give him some support.
I would also say the only other time where you should definitely think about maybe not doing that is for the snakes that eat each other.
Yeah, they
your
should
skinny male
be-
might be a good breeder, but he's in her stomach.
but he's gonna die. Like it's dangerous that way.
Yeah, don't,
I mean,
don't cycle feed when you're putting them together. Is that?
I haven't had my
Long,
boys
fast.
go beyond small rats for a while. Like small rat seems to be right where I want them to be. Again, when
For
it
what?
comes to like pythons.
Oh, pythons. Okay.
Pythons,
Oh, you went
so-
small rats. Okay.
For,
Even for
I'm
females.
sorry, most pythons. So my boys do not go beyond small rats for most of them. Obviously, like the olive pythons still get large rats and stuff like that because it's a freaking olive python. But then the females usually get to be about a medium rat, and then I have 2 females that are on large rats that are not olive pythons, and that's my Bredel female and my big coastal female. And they seem to be doing okay. But I would not, you know, I don't ever want to push a boy beyond a medium. I don't think,
right.
because
Why?
they have good body weight, they have good size. Obviously, I'm doing something correct because they're babies. So
And they don't need that
right,
excessive layer of nutrients to make eggs.
right, and I do not feed from. I think I stopped feeding now, and then I'm going to start dipping down the weather come Thanksgiving. But I'm also going to keep an eyeball on the weather, and I'm also getting a little tired of dodging all these hungry ass pythons right now. So I might feed one more time just to give myself a fucking break. But
Yeah.
but that's just part of it too. And they still get big. They still get big enough, in my opinion. So
Yeah. And I just feel like colubras are just going to inherently be a different game. You know, like I feed my chapalas pretty much at will, right? Like here's a plate full of shit. Eat as much as you want. And the girls are still way bigger than the boys because they actually have sexual dimorphism. Like no matter what I do, like that is just they actually have a difference.
Right. Is there been studies on like diets compared, like the comparison between colubrids and pythons, or say elapids and pythons, or whatever group
I
of
think
snakes?
there's definitely firm science on the difference in the metabolic rates, but I can't pull anything off the top of my head right now.
Gotcha. Okay. I'll have to deep dive
But-
a little bit into that.
Colubrids, I mean the Cliff Notes version is that colubrids have a faster metabolism and a lower digestive efficiency. And then python's the inverse, right? Like when you're talking about a water python, the digestive efficiency is like something like 96, 97% of the prey item gets converted, which is crazy. But yeah.
I also think, again, I don't know, I equate this to sort of like I think there's something to, I think Robert just said it, they have a higher fat content, rodents in captivity, as opposed to the wild. It's kind of like if I bought if I bought meat at a store,
A1 Wagyu versus wild bison. Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
I mean, isn't
With
that
the-
the thing where it's like technically venison is supposed to be a leaner, healthier meat because he spends his entire life running around like a crazy thing and eating grass and natural
Well,
stuff.
I
as
would
opposed
think
to
that-
Yeah.
yeah, I would think that animal is probably going to be much better because it's
Right.
doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I would imagine that if you're eating said prey animal, you're going to inherently be more healthier because you're eating a healthier prey. you
Right.
know? So,
inherently.
Why'd you say it like that?
I don't know. I don't know why I did that.
Inherent.
why'd you call me out?
I just-
That was awesome.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I have my
You
moments.
witty son of
That's why Eric. That's why Eric's kept me around this long. Is you know.
Yeah, this is true. I did before we jump into that other thing, I wanted to share two picks, right? One, this is a captive carpet. I thought this would be pretty cool to share. It's from Mr. Mutton himself. That's pretty wild looking, man. That
Whoa,
paradox.
that looks like an alien.
Yeah.
What's up with the
Kind of
tree?
reminds me of a tree boa.
Yeah, but
It's,
it's like an Amazon. Yeah.
Give it a head stamp, please. It's freaking me
Yeah,
out.
I don't like it.
It's a pure Darwin albino tiger paradox.
Okay,
Yeah,
he can have it.
yeah. I don't want it. I never
thought-
realized how much I don't like not having a head stamp. That is terrifying.
It's,
It's
kind of
like
weird,
a person without eyebrows.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's right.
right? Yeah, it doesn't even have like the face.
Yeah, they didn't even like draw
Scalation and
something
stuff.
on that thing's head. Like, no.
Nick, get to it.
Yeah, dear God.
I'll say.
What in
Uh,
the Mr. Clean?
Yeah.
And then the other one I had was this.
Kill it
oh, man.
dead.
Speaking of, we got Ish in the chat, and he's going to be coming on NPR, talk about his red stuff. And I don't know if this would be red, but this is the closest that I could find to a wild carpet being red. Is that thing, and that is from Springbrook
God
National Park.
damn. And look at the color of the leaves.
I know, right?
It's like it's trying to blend in somehow.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
You guys are dicks.
Do you think the breeder was trying to do that on purpose?
Don't lump me in with him.
Nah,
I
it's too
think
late.
so.
Yeah.
This picture was taken by who was it? Mitch Thorburn. But I don't know. It looks like a Russian tiger if I ever saw one. What do you think? Owen?
I will
That's
take
near that
2.2.
Yakapuri Depot. Yeah.
Yes. There's damn
2.2 of
Yakapuri
that.
deep. That is a cool snake. I love the orange. I love that fish netting that's down in the orange part of it. I love
The
the,
black
base
outline
color.
on the dorsal stripe there too looks like it's in like size
Oh.
50 font. Like it's nice and
Yeah.
nice and bold.
Yeah. Push the B button on there. Command B. Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah. All right. And then the other thing we had to chat about, which there was this article.
Yeah, a few articles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That
one.
was awesome, Eric. What did you do? You like went on
You went
newsnakenews.com.
on a tear, man.
Well, sort of been like stacking them up so we have things to talk about when we're doing the show. So
Look at his show
um,
prep. Like, I'm so glad he does that because I don't. So,
This
Yeah.
guy works hard.
yeah, I'm
I
glad
try.
he does that. Yeah.
so
The
new
whole damn
insights.
opera would have pulled apart.
That's right.
Yeah.
New insights into how southern African rock pythons look after their babies. I think did Eric Hernandez?
Yeah, this one blew my mind. This article in particular.
How so? What was your thoughts?
Oh my goodness. I mean, I need to read the actual scientific paper that it's
Mhm.
referencing, right?
Mhm.
Just to make sure I'm understanding it all correctly. But if all the interpretations are sound, it's basically describing the only instance we know of in snakes at large where there's maternal care past the event of hatching. And that's gnarly. Like, we know crocodilians will do that, but I don't think any of us knew that a python did that.
Well, they did talk about in that book that we reviewed, Eric, the secret social life.
of
Gordon
reptiles.
Berghart.
Yeah, they talked about how we kind of take for granted a lot of the socialization that they have, and they did mention python incubation and care
Right.
of the offspring, but
Yeah.
they didn't go into this much detail of
After.
aftercare.
Yeah.
Like, it was always assumed that yes, mom would hatch the eggs, mom would sit with the babies for a little bit, and then like she'd kind of almost lose track of them. She'd be like, "How many are you? 12? Cool. How many are you? 6 now." We're like, it's one of those things. She wouldn't really like take care of them. She just kind of sit there and they would all disperse. But this
Right.
kind of seems a little like contradictory to that. Like,
Lisa
there
has a
is-
good point. I'm thinking kind of more python centric. I think there is actually some crazy maternal
Rattlesnakes.
care,
Yeah, rattlesnakes, yeah.
rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
That's a good point. But in
And
terms of
don't-
pythons,
Don't real quick. Don't rattlesnakes? No, aren't they? Don't they recognize their siblings?
Mm.
I think that's
Which
true.
I- Which
they
I
can.
because they return to the same den site, right?
There's some evidence that they can recognize kinship. I've heard that as well.
Okay. All right.
I did
Sorry,
not.
didn't mean
That's a good
to
one. Yeah.
cut you off. What were you going to say?
Huh.
As far as pythons go?
As far as pythons go, I think, unless I'm just unaware, I think that the extent of maternal care has been incubation and protecting the eggs, and then once they hatch, it's all over. So, I
Right.
mean, that article is saying that they are sticking around and guarding birthed young for 2 weeks or more. Like that's significant.
Well,
Yeah.
Now, I have issues. 'Cause
Talk to
all
me.
right, it's not like baby pips and mom's like peace, like, and she's just gone. Like, it does take a good amount of time for them to all pip and all leave. And to say that she wouldn't just sit there while they do their little baby python thing, I mean, I would imagine that would take about 2 weeks, and that she would slowly start kind of, like I said, like letting her guard down, relaxing a
Yeah.
little bit.
Well,
as
that's
they
where I kind
disperse.
of want to dig more into the methodology. I don't really know
Right,
what they
'cause
mean when
I
they say
don't-
that.
I don't think she's like expanding coils and like scooping them up and dragging them back in. Nor do I think she's doing what a mother crocodile would do and be like, "Come here in my jaws as I carry you to safety." So,
But you also didn't read it, right?
yeah.
Eric, what did they say?
As far as what they do that?
What are they actually saying they do? I didn't read the whole thing either.
Yeah, I was busy. I read it quickly. So,
Well, I tell
but
Huh?
no.
But I do think she would
Um,
be protective if something tried to come into where she had them and they were still there. So yeah.
So they're saying basically that how can I remember it? But it's sort of similar to what you're saying. Like they remain at the nest site with the mother for the first day or so, and the female remains on the clutch of eggs, but they go to the surface where they bask for short periods, and they're tightly packed together with their nest mates. I think the other thing they talked about at night, that the babies rest protected and warmed in the mother's coils. So they're leaving the nest site and then
coming back.
into the nest site.
And mom is just still
so there's-
there. Now,
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2 weeks, because within 12 to 14 days, basically, they're shedding after hatching, and they disperse. So is there something that the female is sort of like protecting them while they would be in shed?
is
maybe
she
there's
just so
something to it.
tired and beat to shit because she's been sitting
be
on
that
these
too.
eggs that she doesn't want to
Sure,
leave right
yeah.
now? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Could be.
Either way, right? No matter what the catalyst is, just by the fact of her just sitting there, they get protection and warmth, whether
Right.
she's intending to give it
Whether
to them or
she's
not.
whether she's making the conscious thing of being like, come back inside, children,
Yeah.
or she just happens to still be there.
So
'Cause
that's
it's a
pretty
good
neat.
place. It's a
I
safe
do
place.
think it's impressive that the babies know to go back.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I was always under the assumption that the babies just the hatch
Pew!
and they're
Yeah.
gone. They just disperse out into the wild.
Right. If we
Wouldn't
let a
get-
clutch of babies hatch in a cage, maternal incubation, and there's plenty of holes in the cage, they're not going back.
Yeah, they're not going back now.
Right.
Well, now
You'll
mind
find
you,
them for the next 6
well,
months.
there's an experiment. So, if you were to allow a mom to maternally incubate her babies in a cage that they can't get out of,
Right.
like I'm thinking about my cage where it's like I have the bin, the nest box, and then there's the heat panel, and mom would come out of the nest and sit on the bin and get warm and go back to the eggs. If I let her maternally incubate and the babies hatch and I let them stay in there, would I come down and find her and the babies on top, or just the babies on top and then they go back to her? Or
Sounds
would
like
she-
a good
would she
West-
slide out, crushing 4 of them while she slides out and getting on top of the thing herself? And would that 3 drown in the water? But like, that's the other thing, is that they all go out and then the majority of them know to come back. There's always that one stupid one that gets picked up by a bird. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I've seen African rock pythons get taken off by spiders.
Right. So
You know, what I mean?
you know
Ugh.
it's again, like you're saying, like are they just getting the protection because mom is still there and mom's still there just because mom feels like it? Are there some mothers that are like, cool?
Well,
Probably.
I think to the point you guys made earlier is like I think we should probably get the actual study and look
Yeah.
at it a bit more, only
Well, isn't
because
it,
this guy could just I think it was a guy that
is
wrote it.
what was it? Water pythons? Don't water pythons? They're like good enough. Just leave the eggs
Well, the
completely
thought
when
is-
they're like
the thought is with
right on
water
their way.
pythons that Shine wrote about was that they felt that the temperatures were probably a little more stable in the Northern Territory. Remember, these are South African
Yeah.
rock pythons,
Yeah,
which I
true.
would imagine gets a little cold or colder. That that there are northern relatives or ball pythons, if you will. I don't.
There's
think
a
that
lot
the
of
ball
stuff that
pythons
could make a wonderful meal out of a clutch of snake eggs from around Africa. So
Is there? I guess Savannah monitors would be. I don't know if they're from
I
the
mean-
same distribution as Africa. There's got to be some type of monitor. that's down there
there's
somewhere.
lizards, there's mammals, there's
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
But we were talking about breeding, right, and whatnot, and I think this is just an idea. It talk about in the article how it's like such a grueling process for a female to go through it, and like I think we're like trying to, in herpetoculture, right? You breed every year, you breed in a female back to back a couple years. When you're looking at python in the wild. Especially like the African rocks of what they said, it's like she was losing 40% of her body mass, and she
Yeah.
basically has taken 6 months of her life that she's just taking care of these eggs. And I'm pretty sure they're not like carpets where they do the twitching thing, right?
I mean,
so
if
they're
they
having
got
to
cold.
leave. Well, no.
Oh.
They don't. They
Okay.
leave the nest. They bask. I think
And they
that's
come
where
back.
the whatever you were talking about, Lucas, was the what was
Oh,
it called? The
Facultative melanism.
yeah. You had a problem with that?
Oh, well, okay. So yeah, the article here, let me not try to pull it out of my bung hole. The article said, quote, and they discovered that when the southern African rock pythons breed, they change color to almost black during the 6-month cycle. This process, known as facultative melanism, has not been reported in snakes before. It's probably an adaptation that allows for faster rates of heating during basking, which is important for keeping the eggs and hatchlings warm. That's the part where I was like, really?
Really?
It's never
Never?
been reported in snakes before? Because I feel like 10 years ago on NPR, I heard Nick Mutton say that Brettles get dark when they need heat. Like,
Well, and
Yeah.
we've
I've
talked
seen
about
that in multiple females of
Right.
carpets. They seem to get darker.
totally. I mean, the
yeah.
amount of color changing in a gravid Brettles python towards
is
the
nuts.
black is
Yeah.
insane. So if that is not recognized yet, somebody's just doing a really bad
Not looking.
job with publishing. Yeah.
Here's a question, real quick. Have you hold that
Go
for
ahead.
1 second? Have you guys noticed that females that you are not breeding change dark
Yes.
colors?
In the winter, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
so
just-
it has
they
to
just do it.
be. It's not necessarily then equated with breeding per se. Maybe it's equated with they're going into the cooling period and they need a way to maybe they're
Just seasonality, right? I mean, even if I'm
Right.
not running a male, like she still knows what's going on.
It's
Right.
still gonna get
Mhm.
cooler, and
So
they
she's
still
gonna
gotta
be
try to
ready,
warm
just in
up.
case,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, like, because you know how there was always that big thing about hormonal blue and green tree pythons.
Mm.
Like, is that their version of that kind of stuff where they're trying to get darker, but they missed the mark and went blue instead of black?
That's a
So-
really good question.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
What
What the
they
hell
doing
is
there?
even
What the
that?
hell's what the? Why are you doing that? Yeah, so
Well,
I
wouldn't
don't
you
know.
have to look at the color, right? So the
Yeah.
color is normally green, and if you were
Mhm.
like, you know what I mean? So like, think of color. I can't think of it off the top of
Start
my head.
mixing
And then
paints.
how do the things
How
that
do the
eat them
things
see
do the
colors?
other thing? And
What does blue look
how
like?
much chlorophyll does it need? It's
And one
That's
thing
the other
that
thing.
has
Yeah. I
stuck with me is that blue is like one of the only pigments that the reptiles can't actually make. They have to like do a fancy thing that we perceive it as blue, but it's not actually blue.
They're going clear.
Why?
Did that it? No, okay.
It's something
I
with
didn't know that.
light refraction or something.
No shit.
This is another
that was-
Travis Wyman is going to message us.
Oh yeah, well,
Ah.
yeah.
I think Lisa talked about this on one of the podcasts she was on, but like when they were talking about iridescence and snakes, right? And it's sort of
Yeah.
like we always look at it as like, what's the purpose of that? However, maybe it has to do with like their avoidance of prey because the prey can't see that, or maybe it has to do with them being able to camouflage from their prey or from what they're eating.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I think I don't know. There's so much to learn still about snakes.
I don't know either.
Yeah. I just keep on keeping on.
I like that they are snakes.
You guys should leave the GTP talk to the experts.
Oh, well, why don't you have a
No one
GTP
cares.
podcast, Richard
Yeah.
Schubert?
No one cares. Your fun little green snake that sits on a stick. No one cares.
Who's an expert?
Yeah, who has said expert we are talking about?
I'm not an expert in anything
I'm not. I don't
except
know who.
Star Wars
they had-
Legends.
Oh, they had a radio show. Oh, they did. What happened to it? Right, they left. They quit,
Ouch.
and now you're stuck with us.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
don't worry. They'll have an
Unfortunately.
episode in like the next solstice or something like that. I don't know.
I think they
Lunar-
have one every leap
every
year.
eclipse. Yeah. They'll have
Coming
another one.
February.
Yeah.
Magic arboreal worms.
Yeah.
I think I called them magic stick dragons to Buddy, and he gets mad. So it's
Does he?
like-
He gets mad.
Yeah. I'm
He
like,
gets
"Listen,
a little bit of redemption though, because
I'm
he has blackheads.
he does. I think I said
And
these aren't
red
your little
coastals.
magic stick dragons. So yeah.
Yeah. I do like green trees. Sometimes I just don't agree with the approach of green trees. I guess
They taught me
Does
that
make
they're
sense?
not for me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Maybe one day, but
I tried. I
but I
tried
also
really
don't want to
hard.
get. I don't want to get into the designer and all other
Wait a minute.
bullshit.
You were the other day. I caught you online, my friend, about like GTPs. Oh, back scratcher. All right.
It came with my red line shipping supplies.
So did mine.
Oh, it's got one too.
Oh, shit.
My
Mine's
cat,
upstairs.
my cat absolutely loves this because I can just
I
scratch her
love
from
it.
up here.
I'm doing
So-
this all day during work. I'm like, yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
anyway,
Richard, yes.
were you talking
are
about?
an honorary carpet guy. 100%.
you have a
Yes.
Brettles, you're okay in my
We'll
book-
allow
in
it,
my
yes,
book.
I knew I
Yeah,
liked you for
the
a
tribunal
reason.
has agreed. Yes.
Eric,
No,
what were you talking
um,
about?
Owen,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden, Francis puts up his pictures of a ruse mating, and the next
First
thing you know, Owen's like,
First off,
"Oh, I
that
think I
man
might
is a
want to get some
liar.
of them." I think does he just randomly want
He
to
just
get?
no. He likes to
Owen just
stay.
wants to get everything that's breeding.
No,
I'll
no,
take two of them.
no. Buddy likes to sit there and say that one day I'm gonna get you to ask me for like a pair of this or a pair of that or a ruse this or I'll get you the blackheads. I'm like, I don't want the blackheads. I don't want your ruse. Like, all that stuff. So he does that and he throws that out that I've been chomping at the bit for these arus. I have not, nor do I want them. Like, why would I want green tree pythons? I have all of that.
So
And I
that's
have
what I was
those
gonna say.
back.
Don't you have the superior?
I do have the superior Morelia.
Python on a stick.
Why do I need green trees? Why do I need that hole in the head? This
We'll
one's
slow
down
down with the
pissing me off
superior
enough.
Morelia.
Yeah,
I tried to.
I said it.
like, I gave it a good shake. I had 3 U.S. captive born and bred Arusarong babies.
I've killed.
Mhm.
I had.
None of them ate. I tried everything. They all died.
I had 4
Mhm.
Aru. I had 4. I had 4 Rubeox. Killed them all. No, don't.
My
want them anymore.
Aru adult was phenomenal. Lisa has her now. She
That's
was
not true.
great. But
There
the
was-
babies, no.
There was one green tree python that survived me, and I quickly gave it back to Buddy Buscemi in exchange for rhino rat snakes, and I am very happy with that trade. So
Yeah. I like them when
Yeah.
they're established. But then I just
yeah,
always
no.
end up selling them to other people like Lisa and Jason.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, they're doing great with them.
Yeah,
for
see,
sure.
Jason, I have good luck with them.
Well, that's Jason. You know, it's like everybody's got their thing, their
I think-
wheelhouse. you
Yeah.
I
know?
think my screw up is that I fell into this trap of like all pythons are the same, right? So you can kind
No.
of keep them the same. That is
Yeah.
not true at all. No,
No.
definitely
No,
not.
no.
No. Especially when you're dealing with carpets and then going to other pythons. No. I just feel like carpets are just in a way like if you're dealing with Brettles, they're going to be way more cold tolerant, right? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
God,
And, like
yeah.
you sort of get like this idea that well, if it gets down to, I'm not saying that green trees can't handle cold because I'm sure it gets cold sometimes where they're at or whatever, but
I
just
put them out
they're-
at 40 degrees for 3 months. I don't know
I-
if they'd be very happy.
I don't think so
Right,
either, but
exactly.
I love the fact that so I have to do some repairing to my big 6-foot cages, and my big female Brettle's in one of them. And I'm like, I'll just stick her in a bin. And you know what? If it goes to the weekend, she can sit in the bin. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
concerned about her. It's the white lips are also in there. And I'm like, oh God, I'll have to find a cage with heat and water for them.
Yeah.
Brettle, you can
Yeah.
go in a bin, a box over
yeah.
there.
even
It
like the
takes
white
3
lips, how
days.
sensitive they are to
Right.
to water and not having the
Right.
that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think I'll give it a go again at some point, but not
After
right
I've conquered everything else, I'll circle back to green trees. So
Yeah.
After I have an entire warehouse full of 8-foot
it's a long
cages and
list of
asperities.
stuff, and then there's a long list of other species I got to breed, and then I'll circle back. Sorry,
But see, for
Or
me,
if
the
somebody
problem
offers me a good deal next week, yeah.
is- whatever comes first.
somebody wants some chrome heads for some green trees. Like it's
I think Francis probably has the one closest to what I would get into if I was getting to see. To me, a
Yours?
green tree is like a green snake with a white stripe or white on it, and then blue
Yeah.
like on the belly. To me, that's kind of where it's
I
at.
wouldn't even
So,
dip into the whole like I don't know fruity pebbles on a snake kind of a thing
Mm-mm.
that they got going on.
I
Calico.
mean,
Calico might fade.
Bullshit.
I have
dude,
an,
that's
I have an
just
irrational
hybridized
rage
snake.
towards
Come
them
on,
might
man.
phase.
Can't we
I don't
just
know
admit
why.
that whole nonsense is just hybridized snakes? Like, if you put a carpet, have you seen a carpondro?
Yeah,
You see how amazing they look and how crazy they look from a carpet python or a chondro. Why is that? Oh, I don't know. Because it's a hybrid. I don't know.
I'm just mad at they called it might phase because I hate that word. So yeah,
Ooh, I want rings too.
I have
yeah.
rings.
Why? I wonder why
I-
Lisa wants you to get rings.
No, Lucas can wait.
I don't know, but it's on the screen, so
but
everybody, let's
I-
send your rings to me.
I have a female ring here, and then I have another female ring with Ryan, and I'm hoping to get more rings from that so that I don't
I
have to
think
buy
they're
a male.
cool.
Yeah.
They fit
They're
into my
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
They're like Womas.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
That's so weird because they're like a Woma white lip. Like somehow they meet
Yeah.
like right in the middle.
With
Not quite a
weird
Woma, not quite a white lip.
Halloween themed colors.
Yeah, small ass head on their giant ass body. Yeah.
If
Yeah,
I
they're
touch
cool
their
snakes.
face, I bleed. It's
Oh, my female is psychotic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is she?
Yeah.
I've already gotten
Really?
to the point.
Somebody
with-
keeps feeding her. And she's gotten much bigger since when you last saw her. And she's got that whole I have white lips that are better behaved than her. So yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a visit.
Yeah.
I want to see this white lip.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the ring python white
or
lip.
the white
Yeah.
lip too. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I was going through it. I'm like, I have a problem in a couple of years because these 5 backlash pythons are going to get big, and these like 6 white lips are going to get big, and there's the
You're
Dunai
having-
over there. Like
You're
yeah.
having 2018 Eric problems.
There's
Look at these African rocks. These will be
Dude,
awesome.
it's getting to the
Where are they
point
gonna
that
go, Eric? I
that
don't know.
soon. So there's a roll top desk kind of over here. You can kind of see it there.
Mhm.
That the plans are to replace that with 6-foot cages and to go up and add more cages on top of the rough scale pythons, and then bring certain things up here like the Argentines and stuff like that. But
Right.
that doesn't fix the problem of what the hell do I do with 6 white lips, 5 Macklot's pythons, Dunai. There's a lot. I need to move.
Yeah. Good
a
luck in this
place.
climate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you believe an hour went by already?
Yeah. Look at that.
Time flies when having fun.
Yeah. So let's give a quick couple ups before we take off. Number one, calendar contest. When
Done.
are we going to do that? So
I have
it's
all
done,
the
yeah.
pictures. I have all the pictures.
We
We'll
just have to judge it. We're going to
we
do
just
it
have
on
to
here,
judge
but
it.
then we thought, we didn't have
And-
enough time, and
I hate to break it to you guys, it's going to be a much easier year than past years. There was a big downturn in entries. I can
nobody
tell you
likes
that
it
there are only
anymore.
there are only two entries for
You
inland.
guys need to start free handling
Yeah.
Venomous.
Yeah.
We're not relevant anymore.
So
Yeah.
there are only 2 entries for inland. So
That's sad to
I'm
me.
so angry.
you should be.
should
You
be.
should be. So obviously
I've
we'll
been
judge it.
robbed.
I'm
We'll go
s-
it.
I'm
There's a ton of good pictures in every category, but
Inland's just got no love.
Inland's got there. Well, I know which one's going to win because there's one and then there's a wild one. And I'm like, well, there that is. Like
Who was
Oh.
Morelia of the year last year?
I thought
I'm trying to
was
see if
Morelli
Owen
there?
remembers. Does he remember?
was it the scrub?
It was Jason.
Jason, right? The Green Tree Python.
Yes.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
So Jason gets
Right.
to pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice.
Jason.
Well,
Bian.
Jason, just remember how much you like my Womas and Blackheads.
Somebody on this call tried to slip a blackhead in a bucket, and then another blackhead in a bin,
Ah,
and
the-
then
the-
another blackhead on his floor in front of his cages.
I didn't have time to go to the beach,
did
and guess
not
what?
do-
Last time I did that, you didn't vote for me anyway.
He did not do well. Let's just say that his couple animals, one which was a Woma on eggs, did make it to the second round, but the other ones unfortunately were they didn't make it out of the first round. So
You're so hurtful.
I'm sorry. You did better than the people who were like,
Here's the
it's their-
thing.
you did better than some
Nope.
people who it's their arm and the snake is facing away from the camera, and it's just
I
like
go
I don't.
outside, I take pictures at the beach next to real scrub plants of Brettles, and I lose to Travis Wyman with a picture of a snake and a log in his front yard. I actually win, and I lose to somebody
That
who
was not
didn't
my fault.
win.
That was not my fault.
Why
That
would I
was his.
participate anymore?
Right, which is why you're like bucket shot. Fuck you.
He wins with a bucket shot. but-
Even when I
yeah.
win, I lose.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's my fault. That's my
That's
fault.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyway,
right.
we're gonna get that together, and Jason, I guess we'll be sending you info at some time for you to pick, and then yeah, we'll put that up. But
Do you want to show
when
the
do you think?
picture
I
of the
don't know.
blackhead eating the blackhead? Just
I
for
think
fun?
everybody's seen that, right?
Oh, okay.
just for
Just for fun. Yeah, it's fine. We'll look at blackheads for 5 seconds for you.
all right. It's
Well, I'll tell you what.
I have a hard
seeing-
out in an hour. Let's look at blackhead pictures eating
It's
each
not
other.
an hour yet. When
I got 2 whole minutes. Like, yeah.
when I was pairing things this week, I definitely thought twice about it because of this picture.
It's almost like Owen's been warning people for years, but everybody
Yeah.
kind of laughed him off. But you know what? Fine. Do it. Do it.
That
Do
is
it.
true. Owen.
Do it.
That is
Do
true.
it.
You have. Yeah.
It hasn't happened
Jesus.
to me yet.
I love how it's gruesome enough that she kept him alive as she's eating him. Like, didn't even have the decency to kill him.
A lot of my blackheads eat things ass first. Maybe that's like something they do.
Yeah.
Didn't have the decency to kill him.
That is a bad day walking into your reptile room, man.
I would be
Now-
very, very
now the
sad.
people who took
Yeah.
now, all right.
100%.
If you wander up on this in the wild and you take the picture, do you rescue the male blackhead or do you be the naturalist and let nature take its course, knowing that
If
this
we're
could
in Australia,
actually kill
we
both?
cannot touch native wildlife.
Sure,
so
yeah,
I
sure,
would not touch.
Sure.
This
that
was
never
also
happened.
this was
I don't have-
Australia Wildlife Conservancy property, like a conservation bank.
Right.
So they'd probably lock you up if you touched them.
But how do you conserve the species when they're killing each other? So I don't.
Nature finds a way.
Shut up. So it's illegal, right? Like I don't have pictures of us holding a blackhead. Anyway,
Right,
so
We get rid of you.
Ooh, nice.
What is going on here?
what are you doing? What?
Everybody's gone.
Stop pushing buttons.
Look, he's drunk with power.
It's nice to be logged in again.
Oh, thank
dear.
you.
He's
Okay.
drunk with power. Owen, to
I
tell
did
you
think it
where
was
we-
funny when the only people left was the blackhead picture.
No. Now
Yeah.
everyone can enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Dragon Lair, most coffee is 190 to 200 degrees water. I think you're about an hour behind. I think I
You won't
talked
hear
about
the-
that at 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it is 1 hour. So we will
I love you.
hop out of here. Yeah. Well, we love you too.
Oh, and
So-
don't shake your head at me.
why we're doing this. How dare you, sir? Carpets and Coffee 82. You can check out our affiliate, Cold Blooded Cafe. No, see, I always do this.
Well, they both
Caffeine.
are, so now we can't mess up.
Cold-blooded caffeine for the coffee.
Correct.
Cold-blooded cafe for the rodents.
Yes,
Does our
I
code
got
still
my
work?
Code still works. It's NPR
Yep.
10. Just kind of throw that up on your order. It'll take 10% off. Depending on what they have going on as deals, it will add to that. But if there's something wrong with the code, you will have to contact them. Eric and I have no power over the code, so telling me it doesn't work is
Oh, he's got a
not-
guitar. I like it.
Yeah. Damn it.
Keep talking. I'm doing
I can't
background
pick
music.
him. Like,
Aw.
I like it. That was a nice little riff.
I was gonna take us out, but Owen made it stupid.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have
know how
get my
to-
guitar next time.
Oh, that'd be tight.
So Owen just takes us out. Go ahead.
I'll
Owen.
just get a triangle and just hit it the entire time. It's
You definitely
Uh,
have the Will Ferrell look of
the cowbell. Yeah,
Boom,
just-
boom. You got to pull your shirt up so your belly
Yep.
isn't sticking out a little
Yep.
bit. Oh, such pretty songs. Ooh, I like his chord choices.
does he
Alright.
make that face the entire time he's playing guitar? Because that just seems like it's causing him pain.
That scale right there would cause a lot of pain. I mean, that chord right there would cause some pain.
Why? What the?
Why?
What did I
You're
s-
twisting your fingers like that?
Well, I sent you that one picture where it's like, now we're gonna teach you guitar things, and the guy's like hand was broken, and it's like, and this is the only way to play. Yeah. So
All right, so you told them both the codes: NPR 10 for Cold
NPR
Blooded
10.
Cafe and NPR for the Cold Blooded Caffeine.
right.
We have the Carpets and Coffee blend, NPR blend, which is quite delicious. I don't
There's
know.
a
Trey wants to
Teespring
do
store.
some stuff, so we have to sort of figure out what else we want to
Yeah.
do. Maybe give away. Wanna do
Yeah,
that?
we
give
can do
away
that.
some coffee, some swag, like this Cold Blooded Caffeine shirt.
Yeah.
Um,
Some of us could wear that too. Yeah.
Mm.
There's the Teespring store. There's the Patreon. There's all the other shows on the
Oh,
network.
I wish it was off. I could go herping with Rob and Jason tomorrow. Damn it.
Yeah.
Gotta work.
Yeah.
Why is my chair like sinking down all of a sudden? What the fuck is going on? Okay.
Just
Is that
rig
it?
next time I'm over, you just slowly drip, like
I
dip
know.
down. Yeah. Yep. I think that's it. Unless you guys have anything else, I got nothing else.
No.
Cool.
I think
All
we're
right.
good.
So,
I agree.
Very good.
so we're all in agreement. End the show.